Aloha, my name is Isabella Pasa. I'm a junior studying animal science at the University of Hawaii at MANOA, and this is my project entitled Grass Management for Tropical Grass Finished Beef Production. The outline for my presentation is going to include the background, the research problem, the research, my results, conclusion, and finally my mahalo. This summer, I was able to mentor under Dr. Mark Thorne, who is a rangeland and livestock extension specialist. He had previously conducted 2 research labs, the first one being best management practices for the sustainable productivity of Hawaii's range and pasture land, and the second one being linking the effects of stocking density, forage environments, and climatic conditions to animal performance in tropical forage and finished beef production systems. From both of these research projects, I was able to create the one I've been working on this summer, which focuses on Hawaii's dependence on importing beef from the US and other countries to satisfy the demand for Hawaii's residents. There are 3 main factors of this problem, including slaughterhouses, pasture lands, and operational costs. The first factor are slaughterhouses. Slaughterhouses within the state of Hawaii are bottlenecks. Bottlenecks meaning that regulation of slaughter is very strict, and there are not enough slaughterhouses in the state to produce finished beef products to satisfy the population of the state. The second factor are pasture lands. Pasture lands within the state do not have enough resources or space to raise enough cattle to satisfy the demand that our state requires. Because of this, we're not able to background our cattle. Backgrounding means to allow our cattle to continuously graze to build their muscles, their bones, and in size. The final factor of this problem are operational costs. Operational costs includes the maintenance costs of the cows, which includes resources, land, fences, and physical labor. It also includes our shipping and oil prices when we ship our cattle to be finished elsewhere. This figure shows the current status of the beef industry in Hawaii. As you can see looking at the figure, there are 3 different colored groups, including the stocker, feeder, and slaughter steers. Hawaii's economy focuses on producing and selling stocker steers, which include young steers or heifers, which are put onto pasture until maintaining or reaching a desirable weight to be put on full feed for slaughter. The reason why we focus on producing and selling stocker steers is because stocker steers fit within the bottleneck threshold that our state is in. This means that we have more resources for younger beef rather than older and more mature beef. The data used in this research project was collected by Dr. Thorne and his team during the years 2015 to 2017. This data includes forage data, individual steer and heifer data, as well as calculating the average daily gain. Average daily gain meaning the market weight each animal puts on while grazing. This image shows the layout of the research project. There are 3 different controlled herds. Each herd has 12 animals, 6 steers and 6 heifers. Each group is then dedicated to a 6-acre paddock, and the paddocks vary in increment sizes. Group 1 is the high-density rotation group. This means that the 12 animals are put onto 1-acre paddocks. If we take 12 divided by 1, there are 12 animals per acre. Because of this, we can predict that the ADG, or average daily gain, will be more competitive and more high for this group. From this, we can predict that the ADG will be higher than groups 2 and 3 because the beef will be competing to consume the most amount of grass. Group 2 is the medium density rotation group. The 12 animals are put onto 1.5-acre paddocks. So 12 divided by 1.5 is 8 animals per acre. Because of this, we can predict that Group 2's ADG will not be as high as Group 1 because although there's still competition, the competition is not as high risk as Group 1. Group 3 is the low-density continuous group. Continuous meaning that their 6-acre paddock has not been divided into any smaller increments. From this, we can predict that the animals will not be as competitive, so the ADG will not be as high as Group 1 or Group 2 because the cows don't have to compete with one another to put on the most weight and consume the most resources. Graph 1 shows the average daily gain collected monthly throughout the year of 2016 to 2017. The three groups are divided by different colors of yellow. The lightest yellow represents the high-density group, or Group 1. Medium yellow is the medium-density group, or Group 2. And finally, the low-density continuous group is represented by the darkest yellow. Looking at Graph 1, we can see that Group 1 did not perform as well as we thought they would. Although they do have the highest peak in the month of May, they do not continuously have the best scores throughout the rest of the year. For Group 2, in the beginning of the year, we can see that they performed well between Group 1 and Group 3. However, in the back half of the year, they did better than both groups for some of the months. This went against our prediction of them consistently being in the middle. Looking at Group 3, they performed similar to how we thought they would. In the first half of the year, they did not perform as well as Group 2 or Group 1. However, looking at the back half of the year, they performed better in some months compared to Group 1 and Group 2. In conclusion, we hope these trials help the future of rangeland management, specifically in paying attention to how to predict resources need for each beef head, as well as helping our local producers. For future work, we hope to continue with future projects and trials. A trial we currently have going on will be to observe a herd of beef within an 18-month timeline versus the 12-month timeline we had during this research project. Our future work will always include knowing the best ways to manage our resources within the state of Hawaii, as well as to support our local producers so we don't have to depend on importing our beef or any other products in the future. I'd like to thank Dr. Thorne and his team for the data collected for this research project, as well as for mentoring me this summer. I'd like to thank CTAR and the USDA for funding Dr. Thorne's research project, as well as to the University of Hawaii for overseeing both these programs. I'd like to give a special mahalo to NSEMP and to the director, Kelly Ching, for this opportunity and to allow Native Hawaiian students to research their interest field. Mahalo to our team as well for supporting me this summer. Mahalo to the Sophomore Success Program for this opportunity of research. And finally to the Department of Education. And thank you to you for watching this presentation. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Mahalo.